Hello everybody, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Right, okay, so today is the day we talk about Deji's first ever win in boxing. And of course I'm talking about Deji versus Fouseytube. If I'm completely honest, this is the only fight on the entire card where I actually felt something. When Deji won his fight, I got like goosebumps, like I was cheering, I was just so happy for Deji. But if I am entirely honest, I did almost expect Deji to take the win. So the main reason why I thought Deji was basically guaranteed this win is because, like I said in my last video, Deji to me was probably one of the worst YouTube boxers ever to step foot in the ring. Fouseytube's past performance was, well, it was dreadful, and for that reason alone I thought, okay, this is probably the opponent that Deji will actually beat. Deji was never horrendously bad, he always had okay boxing skill, but the problem was with him is he either gassed out too quickly or he just couldn't really find his footing. It almost seemed like he just didn't stick to his game plan. I think probably the nerves and the pressure got to him a lot, but this fight he was definitely, you could see he was mentally prepared for this fight. And I will give credit to both these fighters. Both Deji and Fouseytube were definitely in extremely good shape, and their boxing ability was the best I've ever seen from both of them. They both did extremely well. But unfortunately for Fouseytube, Deji was just better in basically every single way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very briefly go into this fight and what happened. So straight away in round 1, you can see that Deji is the dominant one. Deji is throwing the most amount of punches. He clearly learned from what his mistake was with Alex Wasabi. Deji did not throw enough punches. So when he went into the ring with Fouseytube, that's exactly what he did. He went in and he was throwing hands. But the thing is what he was throwing, it wasn't uncoordinated, it wasn't wild swings. Deji was actually throwing some pretty good hands. He was actually taking his time, calculating what to do, taking a step back and judging his punches at the right time, and he was landing pretty much all of the time. And genuinely his movement, just everything about it, you know, his footwork, his slipping, his ducking, even his punching, like everything was just vastly improved to what he had against Alex Wasabi. It was really impressive. I was expecting Fouseytube to be dreadful in all honesty, but he actually wasn't that bad. You could clearly see a difference between when he fought Slim and versus Deji. Fousey actually looks not horrendous, he looks alright. Although Fouseytube was on the defense a lot, you know, he could hold his own, he did know what he was doing, he did manage to avoid some of Deji's punches. Of course some of them went through, but I genuinely was impressed the fact that, you know, Fousey, he kept his guard up. You know, he did slip and duck a few punches and he did get a few counters in early on, and I was actually pretty impressed. I thought it'd be a lot worse, but no, it was alright. But the thing is as soon as Fousey then went on the offensive, you could see that Deji really did improve, because not only could Deji be on the offensive, he could also be on the defensive. Because when Deji was on the defense, like every time Fouseytube would throw a punch, Deji would take a step back, avoid the punch. You know, he was ducking punches, he was genuinely doing very well to avoid getting hit. But when you watch the fight back, you can really see a difference in the skill. Like Deji is on his feet, you know, dancing around, like really, you know, he's got his head into it. But with Fouseytube, you know, he was facing straight on rather than slightly to the side. You know, he was very flat-footed, and most of the punches that he was throwing, like, it's like he knew what to throw, but he wasn't throwing them properly. So say for instance, all of the jabs that Fouseytube was throwing, they weren't high enough. And the biggest problem that I noticed straight away is the way Fousey was throwing his punches in general. Instead of stepping into his punches, what he was doing was he was basically leaning, he was almost bending forward to throw these punches, and you can't win a fight if you're leaning forward to try and hit the guy. Like, you have to step into it and put your power into it. If you watch the fight back, you can just see that in the first round, Deji just absolutely destroyed Fouseytube on every single level. Round 2 was pretty much the same thing. You could definitely see though straight away that Deji has really learned how to keep his distance. Deji was judging the distance so much better than Fouseytube, and because of that, Deji really did avoid getting hit by some haymakers. However, because Fousey wasn't that great at judging the distance, like I said, he was throwing forward, like he was leaning forward a lot. Deji was just landing jab after jab, and then you could really see that Fousey's face was really starting to swell up at this point. But the thing that I respect the most about Fouseytube is even though he is just getting pummeled with punches, his face is swelling up. He hasn't landed, I don't even think at this point, a significant punch. He just does not quit. He just keeps going forward and he's trying his hardest, and you can have nothing but respect for that. But despite that, Deji manages to knock down Fousey with a perfect jab straight in the middle of Fousey's face. Bam! It doesn't affect him too much because Fousey does immediately get back up, but you could tell on his face straight away, he's like, Deji's actually like, you know, he's beating my ass here. And when this happened, I can't explain to you how proud I was. I was like, yes! Finally you got a knockdown, come on! And then obviously in round 3, that is where it all ended. Deji comes out strong yet again. Fousey's still persisting on going forward, you know, with that momentum and not giving up. But it was hopeless at this point. Fousey, although his mind was saying, yes, I need to get him, his body had taken a toll and he was done. There was just no competition at all left. After the second round, you know, Fousey was tired, like he was just getting outboxed by Deji in every sense of the word. He wasn't landing anything. Deji was just punching him, just jabbing him all the time. And Fousey's corner knew this. They knew that's it, like this fight needs to end. So they throw in the towel. And when it was Deji's first win, I cannot explain how buzzing I was. I was so happy for Deji. So that first win makes Deji a professional boxer with a 1-0 record. Who the hell would have thought that would have happened? And with a KO as well. Although obviously, of course, I'm gassed about Deji, I can't lie, I do feel bad for Fouseytube because I have nothing but respect for Fousey. I've never had a problem with Fousey. I think he's alright, like he's never done anything wrong. And the thing is he showed so much heart in that fight. Again, I've just got nothing but respect for the guy. You might be surprised about this, but in all honesty, I would actually like to see Fouseytube back in the ring. I'd like to see him finally get a win. Because like I said, I don't mind Fousey, I think he's alright. But just overall, I think this fight was definitely my most favourite fight. Because this is the only fight where I was watching it and I actually felt something. Like, I felt emotions towards these fighters. And to me, that's exactly what boxing is about. Although it's a brutal sport, it can still make you feel emotion and sympathy. Like, it's a beautiful sport, and I feel like this captured boxing. Although obviously, it may sound crazy because the levels of boxing aren't, they're not crazy, they're not real professional boxers. But the fact that it can still make you feel something, even though these guys aren't technically, they're not that good. That's what boxing is about. And I will just admit, I've said in the past that I think Deji should stop boxing and probably carry on with his YouTube videos. But, I'm not stupid. I know after this win, Deji's probably going to have another fight. And personally, I think if he is going to have another fight, he should probably go down the path of fighting the people that he lost to. So maybe Deji versus Alex Wasabi again. Or maybe, if Deji really wants to prove his point, maybe fight Gib. But the thing is the reason why I always support Deji no matter what is simply because even after this fight, he uploads a video basically saying, look, we've done it. I finally got a win in boxing. But the thing that I love about it is he's still so humble about it. He isn't arrogant in the slightest. I know some people think, he's had all these losses. He doesn't, he's not in a position to be arrogant. But the point is that he wasn't. He's thanking people. He's making this video not all about himself. And that is the reason why I like Deji. You can tell deep down that Deji really, really needed this win. And it's such a weight off his shoulders. And I think I and the majority of you watching this couldn't be more proud for Deji, and we hope there will be another win in the future, and we'd like to see Deji only go upwards and stop going downhill like it has been for years. This was an absolutely amazing fight, and I loved every second of it, and I'm proud of both of these guys for stepping in the ring and giving it them all. Alright, so that is my cover on the Deji versus Fouseytube fight. I just want to say, if you're new to this channel, why not hit that subscribe button, be a G. Stay tuned because, of course, what video is coming up next? KSI versus 2 other guys. Alright guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!